One person can only achieve so much. As individuals, isolated, our ambition has limited scope. But when we collaborate as a team, our power combines. Our strength is unbounded. Being open, it's in our DNA. Huawei fuses together industry scenarios and innovative ICT technologies, working in tandem with global customers and partners to accelerate digital transformation. Building up modern governance systems with city intelligent twins, delivering better services to people far and wide. Promoting the intelligent upgrade of the financial industry. Supported by agile business innovation. Designing comprehensive transportation systems that usher in convenient travel and smooth logistics. Driving the development of green, low carbon, safe, and efficient energy. Unleashing the digital potential of industries. Digitalization is now certain. Together, we stride into a wider world. Together, we accelerate digital transformation. Together, we create new value.
Lying above us is the starry galaxy. Myths, astrology, science fiction, the universe. Inspiring each generation to explore the unknowns. Down on Earth is the digital galaxy. Voice, web, video, and UHD, from daily communications to audio-visual interactions, inspiring each generation to explore all possibilities on connectivity. We call this galaxy the fixed network. Now, relying on breakthroughs in new technologies, we are heralding in the 5th generation fixed network era, F5G, which will invigorate all industries with gigabit energy. F5G delivers ultra-high bandwidth, enabling the gigabit communications to traverse oceans and continents, serving every home and organization. It breaks down the boundary between virtuality and reality, removing all barriers of time, space, and technology, enriching the ecosystems of industries. F5G delivers an ultimate experience. It monetizes every millisecond, whether in manufacturing or finance. Lying above us is the starry galaxy. Myths, astrology, science fiction, the universe.
Ladies and gentlemen, Huawei Global Internet Service Industry Summit and Global Optical Summit will begin in 5 minutes. Please take a seat, and thank you very much for your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Huawei Global Internet Service Industry Summit and Global Optical Summit will begin in a couple of minutes. Please come into our Congress room, take a seat, and thank you so much for your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Huawei Global Internet Service Industry Summit and Global Optical Summit will begin soon, really soon. So please take a seat. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome, hola, to Madrid. A very warm welcome to Huawei's Global Internet Service Industry Summit and Global Optical Summit. My name is Maxi Savas. It's my pleasure to welcome you here, right in the heart of Madrid. And it's such an incredible city with an abundant history of revolutionary excellence. And Huawei's ambitions and legendary caliber have also revolutionized the world of technology, by helping people to reach others like never before. And today we are here after catching up in Vienna last year for building a fully optical, intelligent internet. For this, we are setting off a huge firework of fascinating speakers who will tell us how ICTs can enable industries to go digital and help global customers to build a robust internet infrastructure also in the future. And Huawei is fortunate enough to be joined on that path by a round of experts. We are having leaders from the internet service industry here, core partners, and also key business executives. But first of all, please welcome your host. A very warm welcome and a big applause for the president of Huawei's European Enterprise Business Department, Mr. Ernest Zhang.
Hello, dear friends, good afternoon. So welcome to the Huawei Global Internet Service Industry Summit and Global Optic Summit 2023. We are living in a world full of uncertainties, but the digital transformation of enterprise is a certain trend. The digital infrastructure remains at the very heart of any digital transformation. And the advanced internet, cloud, and AR are the key drivers for the development of industries. The digital infrastructure generates trillions of dollars of the future economic value. Therefore, it's no surprise that more than 170 countries and regions have published their national and regional digital strategies. Europe has been at the forefront of the digital transformation. The European Commission has issued the 2030 Digital Campus, the Europe Way for the Digital Decade, which outlines the European region's digital vision in terms of the secure and the sustainable digital infrastructure. The campus plan envisions of all the European households covered by a gigabit network by 2030. Huawei is actively participating in the field. We are leading the internet infrastructure innovation by supporting our global customers to build the robust network facility, laying a solid foundation for industry digitalization. We would like to take the opportunity to share our aspect of the focus. Huawei has been investing heavily in innovation, and the innovation drives technical advancement. Over the past decade, we've spent $132 billion in R&D. We innovate, we reshape architectures, and we redesign systems and engineering approaches. This is how we can enhance the competitiveness of our product and the solution in connectivity, computing, and cloud for the internet service industry. I'm very happy to tell you that we will be launching a series of new product solutions very soon in this summit. Huawei are collaborating with research institutes and the partners around the world to drive industry digitalization. Huawei currently works with over 35,000 partners and help them develop a stronger capability. For example, we have set up several joint innovation centers in Europe region and at our Open Lab in Paris, Munich, and Turkey. We're exploring the trends in optical communications, data communications, cloud, and other technologies to reserve, pinpoint, and promote the launch of the competitive joint solution. Together, we want to bring the benefit of the technology to more households and also enterprise in Europe. Huawei is committed to promote sustainable development with digital technologies and create the greater social value. The green development remains one of our top priorities for innovation, and we are actively exploring how we can help the industry reduce the carbon emission. For example, more energy efficient all-optic network has been widely used in dozens of the Europe countries, such as Spain, France, and Germany. And already show its value. It is also enabling digitalization and will promote the green development of all industry. To make this reality, we are pushing the limits of the series, materials, and computing to make our ICT product more energy efficient. So continuously innovation and create value for the customer and partner is our mission, and is also the unique reason for Huawei survive in future. So Huawei is very willing and committed to innovation. We will continuously work with the global customers and partners to build smarter, greener, and robust network through the innovation infrastructure and unleashing the digital productively. Digital transformation is a journey that never ends. On behalf of Huawei, I'd like to invite you all to join our discussion on industry issue and share your best practice and experience. Let's work together to create a better future. Thank you again for attending to our summit. We are quite sure we all will success in future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this warm opening words and this very valuable contribution. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's such an exciting kickoff to this summit, and there is even more to come. And as mentioned, of course, building a robust internet infrastructure is a long-term journey that requires several stages. So let's go on a little journey ourselves and discover how these stages look across Europe. And our first stop is the FTTH Council. Our next speaker sheds light on the trends and challenges of the FTTH Council and the developments in Europe. Please welcome the Public Affairs Director of the FTTH Council, Mr. Arthurs Axnes.
Thank you and good afternoon, everyone. I would like to first of all thank Mr. Zhang for making my task very easy, because first of all, you said very straightforwardly, digital infrastructure is at the heart of any digital transformation. Second, you already outlined the importance that the European institutions are putting on ensuring that we achieve those 2030 targets. So thanks a lot for that. Thanks a lot for Huawei for inviting FTTH Council Europe for this summit. It's nice to meet again here in Madrid. Last time, indeed, as you said earlier, we met in Vienna. I suspect it's not a coincidence that we meet in Vienna, because on our side we are also organizing FTTH conference just 10 minutes walking distance from here. So some of you might already have been there. So let me just, for those of you who might not know what FTTH Council Europe is, let me just summarize in a few words. So we've worked towards full fiber connectivity across Europe. That's our mission. We are not technology neutral, so no surprise there. I'm being paid to say that fiber is the best technology out there. So in that sense, don't expect for me to be very technology neutral. We represent the whole ecosystem, and that's an interesting aspect about the FTTH Council Europe. More than 160 members, starting from manufacturers, then we have lots of operators on board, and also investor side of FTTH ecosystem. We work with lots of stakeholders at the European level, with the European institutions as well. We are a trusted partner representing the whole industry. And of course, I already mentioned the FTTH conference, which is happening next door right now. Again, thank you, Mr. Zhang, for making this slide also almost obsolete. Yeah, we want more bandwidth, more lower latency, and that everything and everyone should be connected. Of course, there is a question mark, and the next slides will show that we are halfway through, more or less, but still lots of work needs to be done. This is just to back up what I said, that I'm not really technology neutral person, and we think that FTTH is really the solution, future-proof solution for the connectivity needs of the years to come. We think also that it's the most sustainable solution given the comparison with the, let's say, the legacy copper network. So for all these uses in future, we really think that fiber connectivity is really the solution. The next few slides are going to be really data intensive, so bear with me. Lots of numbers, but I'll try my best to convey the general message about these numbers. We release just right now, as we speak, the FTTH market panorama in our conference. So even when I sent my slides to the Huawei colleagues, I said, well, here are my slides, but please don't release before my speech because they were under embargo. And so in that sense, these really come fresh from the press, and you'll learn about these numbers just as the big public next door as well. We are very much pleased to see that there is positive trend in terms of subscribers and also homes passed. As of September 2022, when we did the data exercise, we have 108 million subscribers in EU 39 and 2019 homes passed. You have here numbers also about the coverage rate and take-up rate. I'll dive into more details on these. When it comes to market trends, first of all, let me say that when I speak about Europe, right now there are two things. We measure first EU 27, so EU and its member states plus UK, versus EU 39, which is much wider geographical area. Again, the trend is upwards, and we are very happy about the market developments in that sense. Subscribers rates are going up, and homes passed are also going up. But so here you simply have a more detailed view about the market trends for these two. What is really important is to see this market dynamics, because if you look some years ago in Europe, we could clearly see that altnets were the most proactive in terms of deploying FTTH. Now we observe that incumbents are joining the race, and you see from the graph which compares 2011 and 2022, clearly the alternative operators, you still, yeah, I think it doesn't work with, sorry. Alternative operators are still 56% compared to the incumbents, which are 39%, and municipalities and utilities represent 5%. So there is change in the dynamic, but yeah, that's very interesting development. FTTH homes passed. Here we are on EU 29 plus UK. We see that 5 fastest growing markets in terms of volume is UK, France, Italy, Germany, and Netherlands. UK, it's mind-blowing to see what they are doing right now. It's going so fast. So you have 4.2 million additional there. In terms of percentage, well, that's, you know, it depends where you start. So in that sense, Belgium has very high number, 60%. It's followed by UK, Netherlands, Greece, and Cyprus. So it's very interesting to see this dynamic and it changing very fast. I know my colleagues who are revealing this market panorama, they would stress that even from September 22 until now, the situation is evolving very rapidly. So it just to keep in mind that it's a very dynamic market. And of course, for all of you, it's interesting to be in this market. Here you have the same numbers for EU 39. Again, UK leading the race, France following, Turkey, Italy, Germany. Belgium again, in terms of percentage, ahead of everyone else, just because, well, they started quite low. If you don't see, Belgium is right here at the bottom, so they still have potential to go up. This is an overview of FTTH coverage. You see, it's not very even, evenly colored map. Germany being really the most, how to say, it's almost white, right? If I look from here, with 24%. So there is lots of work in Germany. Here, since we are in Spain, it's 87%. I feel like, you know, those guys who do the meteo on TV, it's almost like here I see that for them it's much more difficult. They have only green screen back. But yeah, so it varies a lot. And it's a very interesting market to be in again. European leaderboards, of course, that's something that everyone is interested to see where they stand in. The orange line here, 62.2%, that's the EU 39 average. The green line is EU 27 plus UK average. What we single out here is those countries who pass the 50% threshold, and there you have Netherlands, Italy, Poland, Finland, and Cyprus. If my memory is good, in Vienna I said that 2 countries surpassed, but that I would have to double check, don't quote me on this. But in any case, we are very happy to see that more and more countries are surpassing this 50% threshold. And altogether, already, and that's the top line there, 21 out of 28 countries now exceeding 50% of total homes passed. So that's a good number. As I said in the beginning, halfway there, but still lots of things to do. This is the same leaderboard for 39. I won't spend too much time on this one. Again, principle the same, orange and green one being the average for EU 39 and EU 20 plus UK. Subscribers, that's an interesting one because in a way, of course, it's good to say, well, invest in fiber, build new lines and so on, but in the end of the day, what is really important is also whether people are subscribing to the service. And here in terms of the fastest growing markets, we see that France increased the numbers by 3.3 million, UK 1.5, Spain 1.1, Italy below 1 million, Romania comes next. And there you have in terms of percentages, that's for EU 27 plus UK, EU 39, France leading, UK after that, Spain, Turkey comes in the list, and Italy follows. this map, again, it's very varied in terms of where countries stand. And let me spend 1 or 2 minutes on this one. Because as a pan-European organization for whom it's really important to ensure that everyone and everything is, all the businesses and consumers are connected to fiber. For us, this is really key challenge for the years to come. As I said, one thing is to invest. The line is there, passing your home. But the question is, how do you get people to connect to the fiber? And in that sense, I invite you to go on our website and look up for the study that we released, I think it was in March, was it? On FTTH demand drivers and hurdles in Europe. We did it with Plum Consulting, and it really looks at intricate details on why things are working well or less well in one country or the other, and we also come up with several policy recommendations on this one. But clearly, this is one of the slides which illustrate one of the key challenges for the industry in the years to come. Overall, we see in terms of the European ranking that Eastern Europe and Nordic countries are among the top penetration ranks, mainly due to proactive state intervention towards fiber expansion. We also see that some major European countries are lagging behind due to predominance of copper-based technologies and or cable networks. Copper switch-off, that's a really hot topic right now in many countries. In the FTTH conference, this is being mentioned in almost every panel. So in that sense, I think we will see interesting developments in the years to come. Telefonica this morning said that, yeah, they are going to switch off copper network already as of next year. So lots of positive things in this sense. This is, of course, a slide where you don't want to be at the top. You know, usually you want to be the first one. The fact that Germany is the first is not really a good sign because it simply means that you have the biggest part of the job still to be done. The numbers are quite impressive. Altogether, if you look at EU 27 plus UK, 102 million households are yet to be covered by FTTH, representing 44.7% of total homes in the region. So it's very concentrated, the challenging regions. Yeah, it's self-explanatory. You have the figures there. So lots of work still to be done. Here you have a slide which looks at households without subscription versus households. Again, Germany tops the list. EU 27 plus UK, the households without a subscription are 162 million, representing 71% of total households in the region. Again, Germany, United Kingdom, and Italy have the most without a subscription. So what are the key conclusions? In this slide, we try to summarize really the key developments there. We clearly see a steady progress, right? You remember the first slides, the graphs going upwards and so on. So that's a good thing. 3 out of 4 countries now have passed 50%. Again, a really good positive development there. I already mentioned the countries who this year surpassed the 50% threshold. In terms of coverage, we are more than halfway there. 55% of European homes are covered by full fiber. But at the same time, in terms of the subscriptions, we see that only 8 countries are above 50% of the penetration rate. So that's, as I said, a very challenging one. And in terms of coverage, again, 3 countries, Germany, UK, and Italy, have the most work to do. Then another important aspect that we are revealing today is really how do you see the future? happening, the forecast part. And in that sense, again, the numbers look very promising in terms of the subscribers and homes passed. By 28, we expect 196 million subscribers in EU 39 and 137 million in EU 27 plus UK. In terms of homes passed, we expect by 2028 308 million in EU 39 and 211 in EU 27 plus UK. Again, my apologies, as I said in the beginning, they are very data intensive, these slides. At the same time, what is really important is to see that the trend is going up, and that's very promising. Interesting place to be. Take-up rates, as I said, we see it as a major challenge for our sector, but it's reassuring to see that the numbers are going up again. By 2028, we expect that it will be around 64.7% in EU 27 plus UK and around, well, a bit less than 64% in EU 39. In terms of forecasts, again, 23-28, in overall in EU 27 plus UK, we expect around 137 million FTTH subscribers, and EU 39, 196. But here you have also the breakdown by countries, which might be interesting for you. So, given all this, what is really important for us as the Council is to ensure that FTTH and the way we invest, the way we think about the deployment, the way we see the policy developments in Europe, that we divide the gap between different segments of society, between businesses who have FTTB and who don't. Because connectivity is really key nowadays. As Mr. Zhang said, digital infrastructure is really at the key of digital transformation, at the heart of digital transformation. And if we find still some segments of society which are not connected and connected to a really high quality broadband infrastructure, then we have a problem. In terms of the next challenges, what we see in Europe, of course, it's, we really want to ensure that in terms of homes passed, we reach 60% mark when it comes to EU 27 plus UK. We want to see increase in terms of the take-up, of course. Also, one important thing for the Council is to ensure that the moment when the FTTH arrives to your home, actually you still get the best experience in terms of what arrives to your device, and their in-home connectivity is really key in terms of what kind of Wi-Fi equipment you have in your home, or how do you connect your devices and so on. So that's a really key topic as well. Rural coverage, another topic. Copper switch off, I mentioned already. And several other things like attracting talent, limiting red tape, and so on and so forth. Thanks a lot. That's pretty much it in terms of what I wanted to convey to you. I leave you also with my contact details here. Feel free to drop me a line if you have any questions regarding some of the data I mentioned or conveyed to you. It's an interesting place to be, FTTH market in Europe. I hope I made it quite clear with these slides, but of course there is still much work to be done. And the FTTH Council is and will remain committed to ensure that all the parties are involved in finding the best solutions, how to take full fiber connectivity to every household and business who needs it. Thanks a lot, and thanks again to Huawei for inviting us. Thank you.
So thank you very much for this engaging presentation. And yes, building a robust internet infrastructure in Europe is a long-term journey. And I would love to see that Germany does better next time when we meet, because I am from Germany. And but all in all, we can see that Europe is rapidly moving into the digital era, and FFTH has playing a vital role in this. So let's go on with shaping the future, discussing it, and exploring it. So without further ado, let's shed light on how the 5G fully optical premium network is striding towards a period of high growth. Let's welcome on stage the president of Huawei Enterprise Optical Business Domain, Mr. Gu Yembo.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gu Yunbo from Huawei Enterprise Optical Domain, and I'm very glad to attend the FTT conference. And the topic I want to share is F5G Premium All Optical Network, straight to high growth era. As Atus just introduced us that in the next 5 years, fiber is the trend. And we have full confidence that we will together get the business success with the fibers and also the solution of fibers. Since COVID-19, 70% of ISPs have achieved revenue growth in fiber broadband business. Global ISPs are accelerating the transformation to fiber. According to the report, the number of global FTTH users increased by 11% in 2022, while the number of the corpus users decreased rapidly. This trend will be more obvious in the next 5 years. Meanwhile, more than half of carriers also have launched gigabit or even 10 gigabit in some countries based on the fiber. In 2023, the number of gigabit users will extend the number of megabit users. So 2023 actually is a special year. The gigabit era has arrived. In the new era, how to win the market and achieve new revenue. I know that for the FTTH in this market, actually the competition is really fierce. So a network that can guarantee the gigabit experience is the key. So meanwhile, it should be able to increase faster deployment and to be cost effective. Then take the advantage of fiber capabilities to enter B2B networking market, not just for the home users, but business, enterprise business. It will generate new revenue. All these further fiber initiatives will help ISPs boost the continuous growth. So I just mentioned the F5G. What F5G means? So F5G actually is the fixed generation, fixed network. Later, my colleague will also describe more about F5G. Here, just see some technical specification of F5G. It is defined by the ETSI and have full fiber connection and enhanced fixed broadband and guaranteeing the reliable experience. So based on the F5G, Huawei develops the F5G Premium All Optical Network solution. So it includes actually 7 sub-solutions. On the home side, FTTR solution can provide 2 Gbps plus everywhere Wi-Fi experience in each room. We just say Atus have a forecast for the next 5 years about FTTH and FTTB. Yes, maybe next year there are forecasts also to fiber to the room, FTTR. So I think maybe this is the next evolution of the FTTH network also. So in the access part, transparent fiber DIY tools and the digital quick ODN are perfect solutions for the faster home connections. So 10G-PON solution for access part. 10G-PON solution enables faster 10G upon upgrade at GPON cost. Fund sharing reduced the ROI of the transformation from retail to wholesale. In metro area, I mean for the barrier network, not the access part, R-based WDM, this is a new solution actually developed by Huawei. Enables the affordable and flexible 100G OTN metro network. It is really cost-effective and can help ISPs build their own network and get better experience. In the backbone part, I know some big ISPs, they also have their own countryside WDM backbone network. So 400G, of course, the per bit cost is much more lower than 200G. So 400G is coming this year also. So all these solutions, perfect, empowers ISPs to build a target network with the guaranteed experience. So next, I will show you one by one of this solution. So for the first part, statistics shows that 90% of the home broadband complaints are about poor Wi-Fi experience. As Atus also say, the next 5 years, you know, the connections or the experience of in the room is much more important. So in this case, only speed upgrade cannot provide the better experience. So a premium home networking is the right solution. It has also become a very important opportunity for us to increase the FTTH revenue. Huawei launched the industry's first FTTR home networking solution. FTTR extends fibers to every room in a home through 1+N ONT devices. So based on Huawei Optics Star F30, FTTR solution offers 2 gigabit ultimate Wi-Fi speed for every corner at home. It supports 100% ultimate coverage rate, so every corner is covered by the signal. In sensible roaming, we know that for the room or for the campus, for an enterprise, they have a roaming specification. So if we walk between the different office, yes, in the office, different room, we cannot feel we are roaming. This technology is also used in the FTTR solution. So you can roaming in the home. This is also very important. So practice has already proved that FTTR is a very good business. It can promote the sales of gigabit services and bring revenues for networking, professional services, and smart home service. So in this way, the app can be increased by 60%, and the contract period can be doubled. In 2022, 2.5 million FTTR users were developed in China, but this year, the number grew up to 10 million. So it increased very fast, and for the end users, they are really satisfied with this FTTR solution. They get very good experience. So outside China, also, this is just Q1 of 2023. Already more than 10 operators or carriers have released the FTTR service in their country. So the second part, access part, the last 100 meters home connection has always been a challenge in the industry. Huawei developed the industry's first transparent fiber DIY tool to enable fast and low-cost home connection. So these transparent fibers are self-adhesive that support more than 50 newtons strength. So fibers can be easily installed in punch-free way and can pass through the door crack without any effect. It is easier to deploy than a network cable. So I don't know if you already visit Huawei booth or not. Actually, in the second floor of the booth, we have the real use case there. So every one of you, I think, can use the smart tool to deploy the transparent fiber there. And you cannot find, oh, it's fiber there, but it's there. So with these tools, users can finish one house cabling with just in 20 minutes, and with 1 day for one apartment by themselves. ODN is the most complex, as we know, almost complex part in the FTTH construction. Huawei's digital quick ODN solution provides pre-connection and digital capabilities. So quick connection cables can be directly connected with very low insertion loss. It is just 0.1 dB. So the ODN can be installed in parallel. This benefit improves the 3 times deployment efficiency. One-time provisional success rate increased 30%. So traditional ODNs are dumb resources. We cannot see that, and it is very hard to be managed. Huawei Fiber Aries technology implements digital operation and maintenance for the ODNs. Fiber Aries enable each ODN port with an identifiable optical label. This optical label is bound to the physical topology through the AI recognition. With the Fiber Aries, the accuracy of the ODN resource can reach almost 100%. Globally, more than 50 million connections have been deployed using the DQ ODN solution. It helps reduce time to market by 50%. So on the access network side, according to the report, we know that most of the compliance of FTTH is just from Wi-Fi part, but speed is also very important. As I just mentioned, this is a special years that 1 giga users will exceed the megabit users. So 10 GPON OLT has become the mainstream. Huawei's all scenarios 10 GPON solution includes 3 sub-solutions, FlexPON Plus and also Wi-Fi 6 Plus, and the XGPON Bridge Gateway. With the solutions, ISPs can smoothly upgrade to 10 GPON without changing their ODN or adding new sites. It is also 50 GPON ready for the future. Yes, we also have 50 GPON products in our booth. You have time, you can visit there to see that. For the FlexPON part, the FlexPON Plus board supports 7-in-1 mode. You know, currently we have 5 mode in one board. Now this year we have 7-in-1 mode. So the mode switching can be performed remotely by RTUs. It supports 32 10 GPON ports, which is the highest density in the industry. In addition, the unique Class D optical module supports 8 kilometers distance more than others. So all these advantages will bring 45% cost saving and 50% space saving. Second, thanks to a deep understanding of wireless part, you know, Huawei is a comprehensive company, not just a fixed broadband, but also wireless part. So Huawei has developed Wi-Fi 6 Plus technologies. Wi-Fi 6 Plus increased the air interface rate up to 6 Gbps and improves the coverage capability by 30%. Besides, the latency of the more than 100 applications can be reduced by 60%. All this together can enhance 50% concurrent Wi-Fi performance. So this is very useful. Third, we launched the new XGS-PON because some SPs still use this bridge way. So we also have some new XGS-PON bridge gateway for some customers. For some SPs are offering wholesale services, but traditional wholesale mode is only physical fiber sharing, not equipment, not whole network. So one ODN fiber can be only used by one SP. The fiber utilization is really low. Duplicate NMS network management system and ORT deployment also reduce the profit. So fan sharing solution from Huawei changes the wholesale mode from one fiber sharing to the whole access network sharing. All the NMS and the PON port and ONT is able to be shared. The hard pipe isolation technology ensures the service from different ISPs don't affect each other. It is like several virtual network by one equipment. So it is a win-win solution. For the wholesaler, the fiber utilization is enhanced and the revenue can increase by value-added service. So it has helped improve the ROI by 60% for the retailer. For the retailer, 70% time market can be saved. So next part is about the WDM part. This is for the barrier network. If we want to have the best experience of access part, we have our own very good experienced barrier network. So for metro traffic increase rapidly in gigabit era, this poses very high requirement on the bandwidth, footprint, and flexibility of networks. Huawei Airpace WDM solution can help ISPs build affordable and scalable metro networks. Airpace refers 4 concepts: agile, long-term evolution, pooling, and simplified. There are 4 innovations in the solution. So first, the metro distance is normally not very long, just a few hundred kilometers. So Huawei customized cost-effective 100G optical module in this scenario for short distance. It also supports pay-as-grow mode. So compared with the multi-10G, previous we just built a 10G network. Compared to 10G network, this 100G network will reduce capex by 30% even. So second, in metro, there are many aggregation rings. Usually we have several rings together. So but each ring, previously we built 100G wavelengths in each ring, yes? But actually we don't need so much. Each ring we just need maybe 4 to 10. This kind of wavelengths, we don't need so much. So Huawei developed the industry's first multiple N WSS board. This is the unique technology from Huawei to build a wavelength resource pool. So multiple aggregation rings can share the whole 96 wavelengths. Each CO uses wavelengths on demand. Not each ring has 96 wavelengths, but all the rings together share this. So the pooling architecture and advanced WSS integrate 9 traditional subracks into 1 subrack. So this saves footprint and energy by 90%. So third, based on the digital optical label technology, automatic planning and configuration can be performed in 1 click. We know that for metro WDM, there are a lot of sites. It's very difficult for us to manage the whole network, even planning, even commissioning, and for the maintenance. Yes. Finally, this kind of Airpace WDM can full support this flexible flex grid. It is ready also for the 400G evolution. So with this digital optical label, it can support automatic provisioning. You just click, so everything is there. So it is like the old technology SDH. It's old without less bandwidth, but very easy. So this WDM is almost like that, but with big bandwidth. So only FODEM cost with the RODEM flexibility compared with the other solutions. Airpace WDM achieves perfect balance between the functionalities and the cost. Therefore, it is the most suitable solution for the metro 100G network. In backbone, I don't want to talk too much here, but from last year, the 400G actually the shipment is grow very fast. And this year, I think the whole world will come into the 400G era. And of course, in this part, Huawei is the best already in the past 14 years. Just remember several things that for Huawei, the longest distance, not in the lab, in the real use case in China or in Europe, we have deployed 400G for 1,000 kilometers. It is not a lab test, it's in the real network. And also for the cost, we have the smallest and the lowest power of the 400G. So this part is also very advanced from Huawei. So what I just mentioned is usually it's all about the home use. Yes, for the customers and the users, it's just a home use. And we have already built a very good network with the FTTR, with the 10G PON, and also very good barrier network with 100G and 400G. But how can we full use this network? So can we get more business from this network or get more benefit from this network? Actually here, Huawei offers also we have some idea about this network, how to use it. Huawei offers also 3 optical enterprise solutions that can help ISPs get new revenue from the B2B market. So in data center interconnection scenario, we have DC optics solution, greatly simplified WDM technology, and therefore it is suitable for mass application. For the large and medium-sized campus networks, FTTO solution, fiber to the office solution, fully takes the fiber advantage to replace the coppers. It is also a very green solution compared to the copper part. Practice shows that, that in China we have already deployed a lot of fiber solution, FTTO solution in the campus, in the enterprise part. Usually the bidding successful rate is 85% compared to the traditional solution. So for the small campus network, FTTR, I just introduced that is home use. But here I want to mention is that FTTR2B solution also make a full use of your ODN network, and it can take you some more money from the enterprise part. So let's introduce the DC optics first. Actually, for the DC scenarios, Huawei also developed equipment that named Optics Trans DC 908. It is used in data center connections. And of course, in the last year, from 3 years before we launched this product, it is ranking #1 in the past 3 years. But here I want to mention is that this equipment is also very useful for the DC scenarios. For ISPs, you can sell this kind of equipment in some scenarios. Like in government, they have some data center. In MTDC or some large enterprises, they have built their own cloud and data center. And also for the financial market and also some bank, they have data centers. You can build that part for the customer. So what's the benefit? Or what's the advantage of this equipment? Actually, for this equipment, it's very simple WDM. So no network design requirement. In point-to-point scenario, each site requires only one sub-rack. It can support both the optical layer and the electrical layer together. And the second part, 1 hour delivery. So when we develop this equipment, we have an aim that we don't want it to be WDM. We want it to be like SDH. So actually, we can deliver the service. There is no commissioning, just 8 minutes. So we calculate the time, just 8 minutes, you can deliver the network by this equipment. So third, there is no NMS requirement. The DC908 has a network level WebGUI because some customers, they want to build a server to manage this DC908. So it is WebGUI supported. So thereby, it reduces the project cost. So in the second part about B2B part is about campus network. So we call it fiber to the office. I know in Europe, we also have some name of fiber to office. We just put the ONT in this enterprise. So we just give them one list line, not inside the office. Here, I mentioned what I mentioned, fiber to office is inside the office, not just to the office, but inside. So in campus network, FTTO solution outperforms traditional switch network through architecture and medium innovation. So that brings 3 benefits. So the first, energy saving. FTTO solution replaces aggregation switch with passive splitter. So we have ODN network, so that part is very, very cost-effective and also green solution. And simplifies the network layers from 3 to 2. So it saves ELA rooms and reduces 60% power consumption. Second, simple operation and maintenance. FTTO solution can converge both the office service or the voice or some security network into one network. As I just mentioned, like file sharing, it can aggregate all the different networks into one network. So once deployed, only one person needs it. He can maintain the entire campus network. Third, it is cost saving. So the FTTO solution reduces the material cost and the cabling workload. Compared with the point-to-point switch network, actually, our PON network, or FTTO solution, it is point to multi-point connection. So FTTO will reduce 50% of optical modules and 30% of TCO. So in the European market, FTTO solution can be widely promoted in the campus scenarios, such as hotels. I think in Spain, a lot of hotels already use this kind of solution, and also nursing homes, schools, shopping malls, and hospitals. The third part, you know that according to the SBA fact sheets, 99% enterprises in Europe are the small enterprises. So usually SMEs only rent an internet private line from our ISPs. So they purchase devices from the open market to build their own campus network. So such network work mode cannot ensure the experience. Problems such as the slow cloud access, video frame freezing frequently occurs. SMEs also require premium campus networks. So this is also a huge opportunity for us to expand our business. So with the advantage of our current ODN, FTTR2B of our ODN network, FTTR2B solution can easily extend a fiber to each office room. It provides over 2 Gbps everywhere and a high quality experience for SMEs. Based on it, ISP can scale other DICT services to increase the revenue. So the practice, you see the picture of the China Telecom shows that FTTR2B is welcomed by the market. It's already a success in the China. So it doubles the up of the SME market. So sales data shows that every 10,000 users can bring in $15 million in revenue growth. So it is very good benefit. So this is the last page. Actually, in the gigabit era, speed increase should lead revenue increase, of course. So in B2H field, F5G premium or optical network solution enables faster delivery and ultimate experience. It helps win the market in the cost-effective way. In B2B field, so DC optics, FTTO, and FTTR2B solutions helps ISPs enter high-value market and get the new revenue. So if F5G means fixed network or fiber network or even the future. So in the gigabit era, Huawei is waiting to lighting up B2H and B2B door engine growth models for ISPs, straight to high growth era. So that's all my sharing today. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your thoughts and for your clarity. And indeed, all optical networks have promising prospects, right? One of the key elements of a robust internet infrastructure is, of course, technology and technological research. So how can technology improve and help to improve what we already excel at? Let's discuss this in deep with our next speaker here on stage. Please welcome Huawei's Chief Expert Standardization of F5G and ETSI ISG F5G Liaison Officer. I love this job title. A very warm welcome to Dr. Markus Brunner.
Thank you very much. I love the job title as well. Yes, so you heard a lot about the F5G already. I show you a little bit the F5G standardization landscape, and then a bit on the evolution and a little bit on the technology behind those things. So that's where we are. The first slide is always, and I've seen that now in almost every talk in the FTTH council meeting, fiber is energy efficient. Yes. I mean, I just put in here from the Federal Ministry of the Environment of Germany. They did really experiments, and it shows that fiber optics is far, far, far lower energy consumption than any of the other technologies. Against cable, it's still okay. Against some of the mobile technology, it gets really, really bad. Also note that 90% of the traffic in Europe is carried by fixed networks. It's a bit against the mobile guys here, but fixed networks are the workhorse of our internet. So that's why I like to be in that field, and I like to look into the fiber aspects. So F5G, you heard already about F5G. Why the hell did this guy talk about F5G? So first of all, it really is defined by the ETSI, the European Telecom Standards Institute. It is a group there with just all that definition and standards. Why we have chosen F5G is because we basically see the same trend in fixed as in mobile. You see several generations on the mobile here on the top, and we basically have similar generations of fixed networks at the bottom. And what we have now in F5G is this having multiple services, multiple applications, multiple industries needing this type of infrastructure. That's why you have this plethora of different industries and applications here. From a technology perspective, F5G as such is Wi-Fi 6, 10G-PON, 200 gig per lambda WDM. That's sort of where we are. We basically defined F5G as three-dimensional space, having enhanced fixed broadband, having guaranteed reliable experience, and having a much higher density of connections and fiber endpoints. So the whole logo of F5G is fiber to everywhere and everything. Means a lot more fibers being there. So we talked about F5G, that's sort of where we are now. Now let's talk a bit about the future. And this F5G evolution, why do we need that? There are several trends, and I have another slide on that as well. So we have this trend from having human-to-human connections to human-to-machine connections, having full connectivity. We basically want to have a much higher reliability. We need to be more green and more efficient on the connectivity side. So basically, we extend this three-dimensional space into a six-dimensional space. We naturally increase speed, so enhance broadband. I mean, speed is always important, but it's not the only thing. We still increase the number of endpoints. We don't have only fiber to the room, but we have to the machine, to the robot, to IoT devices, and so on. And the experience is naturally a way to improve. But what we add here is three additional dimensions, and already with my introductory slide, it's the green aspect is added. So having even more greener technologies in fiber. Even fiber is green already. We want to do it even greener along the way in the future. We look into real-time resilient link. That's where we really start applying optical communication, not only for residential use, but that's we do run projects now for factory manufacturing and the fiber to the robot and fiber in the robot type of aspects. So this is sort of like a future-looking thing in that sense. And we don't do only communication, but we also start using fiber for sensing. And if you do both, it's very good to use the same infrastructure. From the characteristics, we believe it's sort of, we just heard in the previous talk, the 1 gigabit for the user area. Here in this evolution, we start talking about the 10 gigabit. We don't do only carrier, we go into industry. We go towards sensing, and you already heard, for example, the ALPS WDM solution we just shown. We move from electrical to optical only. This is sort of the future trend going forward. Now, there are basically two drivers. One is the digitalization, cloudification of applications, and the other driver is just things in the network infrastructure we need to look at. So these are sort of the two major trends we are looking into. On the network side, it's more smart, add computing, have autonomy, 0x, self-x, being more green, and having sensing capabilities. That's sort of the infrastructure part. The drivers on the cloudification application part, already talked about, fiber to the machine, digitalization, one hop to your cloud. If you start looking into immersive HD applications, you need 10 times bandwidth. If you go metaverse, you need new capabilities in your network. So these are the drivers from the application and the infrastructure side. And then I have listed here a whole plethora of enabling technologies. And you have seen some of them already in the previous talk. I don't gonna bore you with all of the technologies, but I want to go into two particular ones, the FTTR, the fiber to the room, and the 50G PON. I do a bit of detailed look into those two aspects. But you have seen the overall picture is really F5G is the end-to-end optical network, and we look into the evolution of that. So we have 3 challenges to be addressed in the 5G deployment, 50G deployment. I get too many G's now. In the 50G deployment. So we basically need to keep the ODN, so because the cost of building up the ODN, so the physical fiber infrastructure is very expensive. You see some numbers, some operators have even higher numbers on the percentages. So we need to be compatible. The second thing is there are ONUs out there for some time, and they will stay there for some time. So we need to be backwards compatible with them. Specifically, that means we need to be backwards compatible with GPON and 10G PON users, and that we can smoothly upgrade them. So we need to have this compatibility. And then we want to basically reduce the initial investment. 50G PON today, I don't think many people want to have a mass deployment of 50G PON today. But it's a gradual way of improving your network over time. If you have an application, if you have a customer which needs it, you do this gradual upgrade of the systems. So basically, how do we do that? And the 50G PON solution from Huawei basically is looking into that with these technologies. First of all, using the existing ODN, basically our 50G PON port has now digital signal processing for processing the optical signal and has optical component. If you do that in a good way, and there's a lot of engineering and IPR behind that, you can achieve the 32 dB optical budget, which is the current standard for ODNs. So basically, you can reuse the ODN as is. No need to change at all. So there's a set of innovations here, and there are a set of algorithms needed, and I have a bit more on that. On the reusing of the terminals, like we know it already today, what you guys, I guess, have deployed is GPON, 10G PON combo systems. So there is no reason why we should not do a combo system with 50G PON. So we do have, it's a triple coexistence, is standardized by ITU. So we have triple coexistence of the different GPON technologies on the same ODN. That basically means the replacement of the ONUs can be gradual as needed. Basically, you can use whatever PON ONU you want. And finally, the old chassis are still reusable. That's also from an energy and a life cycle perspective very important. You don't want to kick out things which work quite well. So there's the 8-port 50G PON cards, the first one being symmetrical in the industry. So you can use this 50G PON 8-port card in existing MA 5800 chassis. And basically that allows to protect your investment, which has already been done. It's multi-platform, it's rapid deployment, it's just about putting in a new card, and it improves your competitiveness in the market, in case you need that capabilities of 50G PON. A bit more on the deep down in the technology. I already shown you the port here. On the optical side, we basically have a special amplifier here, which basically is very concentratedly send light down the fiber. I don't want to go into detail, but this high amount of power in the density, it can be comparable, or the number is 200 gigawatt per cubic meter, which basically would mean comparable if you have one light bulb, it would light up the Real Madrid stadium or 2 football fields. So this is just to give you a bit of an impression how much power there is. I mean, it's very small. It's not, with the fiber, we cannot light up that, but it's about the density which is used here. On the receiving side, we have nanoscale material, which basically is able to fully capture the protons coming down the fiber. So that's a very special material. This material is also used in space telescopes. It's basically based on reflective coating. So this is special material on the receiving side of the PON, which basically allows you to have the conversion efficiency going from somewhere in the 70% to the 100%. You receive every photon from your fiber. On the DSP side, the DSP is basically improving transmission, and we are basically to increase with special algorithms in the DSP, we're able to increase the optical power budget by 3 dB. There are basically 2 aspects here. Don't want to go into too much detail. One is the algorithms, how you do the decoding. Basically, that one gives the 2 dB, and you have the LDPC, which introduces a sort of like looking into the waveform, getting that waveform back. You get 1 dB. Plus, we have special mechanisms to increase the efficiency, because we are basically able, in the start of a PON frame, the PON frame can be much smaller, basically meaning you have more payload, which basically allows you to have much larger payload, somewhere increase the payload by 30%. So that's different technologies to improve the efficiency of 50G PON. Now coming to FTTR, let me make a comment to the FTTH Council talk before. I think they really need to change the name. Fiber to the home, I don't think fiber to the home is really timely anymore if they want to look ahead. So we coined the term like fiber to the room, and the system of the fiber to the room, you have seen almost all of it already. Just 2 aspects is we basically have applications on phones, which is sort of talking with the fiber to the room management system to basically get your whole home being covered with very good quality of experience. So that's sort of a bit of the management aspect. And then basically what you need in your home, you have a lot of different applications meanwhile. You cannot imagine what is there already and how much will come over the next few years. So basically have a lot of different connections, a lot of different devices in your home, so you need to be able to cover that up. So again, a bit more technology. Basically, what we had today was a normal PON chip. Now for this particular solution, which is very good in the very high-speed space, and you see we are up to 2 gig per for that system. We basically added here network processing, and we added algorithms for making it more clever and smarter. So that's how we achieve this type of things. So this is a particular 10G PON chipset enhanced with additional algorithms. On the Wi-Fi side, we basically are able to, with intelligent DPD, we are able to gain another 2 dB, which basically increases your either the speed or the coverage, depending on what you need. So these are sort of these technologies which allow to have this industry-first all-optical 2 gigabit Wi-Fi to every room. And it's really useful for using that in the homes. A few more aspects. You typically have roaming in your home. Not sure how many people walk with a video call, but for sure with WhatsApp call or IP phone calls or whatever, you walk around in your home. That basically is blocked. Most of the today's system basically have an access point, you connect to that, and then it needs to reconnect to another access point. The Huawei solution is basically talking about the seamless roaming, and we can do that because we have a coordination function in the main ONU. You have a particular main ONU, and you have several satellite ONUs, and basically on the coordination of all of that stuff happens centrally. That's why we basically can do that. And that basically shows you here just like visualization of it, that you can walk with your, it's again video call here, but you walk with your video call, this access point has it, then there's a handover to the other access point and to another one. Through the centrally algorithms, we are able to do the handovers in 20 milliseconds. 20 milliseconds is far below the 50 millisecond SDH handover time for voice networks. So you don't really feel that anymore. The last topic is, here we basically have using a bit of technologies from the 5G technologies. In the industry today, is the sort of the usual access point has two horizontal omnidirectional antennas. Huawei, and then what you get basically this picture on how this looks like. You have an access point in the middle, and it sort of goes around in a donut. The Huawei solution is basically adding two vertical omnidirectional antenna, and the horizontal ones are multi-beam. You basically get something like that. You see you have the much better coverage in the 3D space. Why is this important? You don't have Wi-Fi only on one space. You have Wi-Fi equipment down, you have Wi-Fi equipment up, you have Wi-Fi equipment everywhere. And we basically allow to follow devices. So that's where sort of mobility for one access point, and to keep the quality of experience, you basically have this beam-forming thing. The beam follows your device, no matter where you go. Finally, if you have multiple access points and Wi-Fi as such, today it basically has collisions. If 2 or 3 people want to attach to the Wi-Fi and send, there needs to be some sort of coordination. The Wi-Fi standard as such just gets a collision, and then somebody is backing off and sends again. But with the coordination, again, the centrally located coordination, we basically can have a coordinated way. You have different streams. You can have quality per stream. And the last thing is, sort of in industry, the average number of concurrent connections in a Wi-Fi access point today is 32. You say 32 is a lot. I go back home and count how many Wi-Fi elements you have. 32 might be a lot today, is not a lot next year anymore, or in 2 years. So that's why we need much higher numbers here to have. This solution now is 128 concurrent connections, which are stable and high quality. Coming to the end, to sum up, so F5G and its evolution is really targeting the twin transition for green and digital transformation. We have this fiber to everywhere and everything. We basically move from copper or wireless to fiber. That really saves a lot of energy, if you look at it. The digital inclusion is higher, because you don't need all these special things. So the F5G networks can be deployed relatively cost efficient. You have seen the fiber to the room is sort of like a first embodiment of the fiber to everywhere. If I heard fiber to the room first time, I was like, what the guys are talking about. But now it's reality. On our booth you just heard, I think it's the most seen exhibition in this event at Mobile World Congress, wherever you go. It shows a lot of interest on that. The digital transformation with having very good home coverage, very good quality of experience at home, it basically increases the digital life. You have a lot of applications which need that. Think about education in rural areas. Think about your team's conference calls while your kids are playing games. So having this remote capability of doing your work is very good. And it's also, if you don't go to your office, it also saves the gas in your car. And it naturally, with that, improves the economic efficiency. There are studies in the ITU which show that there is the direct linkage with fiber build-out and the economic efficiency. Finally, fiber is already green, but we naturally need to make it more green. There's no way around that. We basically try to improve the technology on the optics side for having much tighter integration of optics and IT things. And we need to look into power-saving mechanisms. Where can we still save some more power? And with that, I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for your update. So we've certainly learned a lot about the latest innovations and green development. And our next speaker is looking at a more generalized picture with one of the megatrends, digital transformation. So how would digital technologies lead ISP transformation? To find an answer, please welcome now on stage the CTO of Huawei's European Enterprise Marketing and Solutions Sales Department, Mr. Alexander Maslow. Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to be here in Madrid on this amazing event. And yeah, as discussed, so my part would be now a little bit to look what all those amazing innovations, what we have heard today, increasing the amount of the subscriptions, amount of the optics, access technologies, what all this brings to us as trends and as challenges and, of course, as opportunities, especially in the transformational phase for the ISPs. And I would like to start with a very general overview. What does it mean for building and operating of those networks for ISPs and for enterprises, right? So as we see more and more network deployments, of course, it means that the complexity of the deployments also rises. Amount of the networks, amount of the amazing applications that we have heard today from metaverse, from virtual reality, from immersive videos, right? It's everything introduces more complex installations, maintenance, and operations there. Moving forward, different teams who are building these different network layers and using and leverage them, of course, also introduce many challenges on how efficiently to coordinate with each other, how not only provision them, but also how to launch the applications, what kinds of policies should be implemented there. And last but not least, also the all standardization and interconnection of different vendors and different technologies that should talk to each other and collaborate between access stack, overlay stack, and also the whole applications and virtualization stack, right? So looking on the requirements that we see for the transformation of the ISP WAN networks, right? So we see three main movements out there. So number one is deployment and development of the users and applications that come in very, very quickly, rapidly, and we need to be prepared for that. To be able to achieve those growth numbers that we just saw in the presentations of the previous speakers. Number second is enterprise private lines, right? So private lines, as they were used for just increasing amount, increasing the bandwidth, are not suitable anymore. As we're looking on the efficiency of those lines, it's not necessary using in proper way, right? And the last, but probably one of the most important way, and I was really glad to look on all presentations today, the point about the talents that are going to operate and going to use those technologies and operate those networks, right? Becoming also very important as looking for some solutions for hours or for days sometimes for troubleshooting and managing those networks can become also very, very important, especially in today's infrastructure. And what we are doing to support this transition is introduction of our Cloud WAN vision of Huawei that based mainly on three main aspects. Simplified architecture, what we want to make simple in very, very complex network environments with many different components. We're thinking how can we simplify that, how can we make it more manageable, right? Second is simplify networking. And here we are thinking about those different groups and different elements and different departments that go into to use those technologies, how they can more simply orchestrate and deploy those networks. And number three, of course, after deployment stage, what about operations and management? Is this different layers of access, of overlay, are they still kind of like black boxes completely separated and silent one from another? Or can they also be very transparently operated and seen by any application that is needed for that? So, and I would like to dive a little bit deeper into these three aspects on the examples of our three customers that were with us through this journey. And I would like to start with one traditional ISP from Asia. It has very, very traditional approach on having separate devices on the access level from separate brass with CGN, separate PEs, and that separate elements introduce, of course, challenges by each and every upgrade of the components, right? So we have upgrade in brass that needs that we also need to think about other components. That means that we need to downtime. That means that we also need to have influence bandwidths and user subscriptions. So what we want to do is introduce all-in-one device, and that was launched by NetEngine 8000, that combines all the components, almost all the components, like 6 main functions for the network with this one simplified infrastructure to have it in one device, right? It is a brass, it is PE, it is CGN, it has capabilities of IPsec and SA. And what that gives to the ISPs, what that gives to our customers, right? It's first, of course, less devices, always good, less points of failure, less space that we need, less energy consumption, very important. But more important, of course, it's the user experience as, again, upgrade or any changes that we want to introduce, of course, have less failure potentially and less time that is needed to achieve that. Moving forward about the operations, and this is another customer that we have that has rapidly deployment of the digital infrastructure. Really, government organization have the need for introduction of connectivity to different departments and launch different applications. And traditional way of doing this to have another lease line, another connection, another connectivity point, another network at the end of the day, right? And of course, this multiple networks, many devices, many bills for different lines, and also different teams who are responsible for managing those different elements in terms of security, in terms of policies, and so on. So what we want to introduce here is to have shared line, but with very strict security-based slicing that can use the same hardware infrastructure and absolutely different logic, and provide the capability and the ability to those teams to manage that and provide security to all those different scenarios, different applications, and different cases that we have. Again, of course, the mathematics here is very clear. We want to lower the costs, both on the CapEx, on the investment, on the deployment, as well as then operating of the system, as well, of course, making it more efficient, right? Really efficient and really decreasing this lower cost for whole licensing, for whole management system, for whole operating, and so on and so forth. Okay? Moving forward. Last but not least, another case that we see now in Europe is introduction of new protocols, and this is a railway application. It's called Future Railway Management Communication System. And to deploy that in as you can imagine, in any of European countries like France, like Germany, like Spain, it involves the whole upgrade of all those devices that need to be starting supporting those protocols to build the application operations for the railway, right? And you can imagine how much time we need to remove the device or upgrade the device, and multiply that by these 100,000s of end devices. Those kind of projects taken normally years, right? So like and huge teams to make this happen, and afterwards to look how it operates and how it works, right? So what we want to achieve with this is to completely automate the way how devices are provisioned, right? And for this, we benefiting from the whole IPv6 and SRv6 technologies that can make provisioning of the devices, provisioning of the networks much quicker, easier. Introduction of application-based deployment of the devices, and at the end also make the whole visualization of our network, right? So removing those black boxes, at least for IP guys like me, that, okay, our access is okay, our devices are okay, the status are green, but nothing works. So like really moving forward to the way where we can really see all layers on one visual digital twin of this complex network environment. To make it all magic happens, of course, it's based on technologies that are brought to our products. And we are very happy to launch our NetEngine 8000 series, and more launches will come today as well. And very important here, that is one of the industry most compact devices. It is industry most performance devices on the amount of the port that we support in. And also very important, as you see here in red, it is upgradable device. So that means that our customers on ISP, on WAN operators, can start with 2 terabits, for instance, and then upgrade their investments. Again, thinking about efficiency of leveraging those devices, as well as, of course, upgrading them for the future use. We are really glad to serve our customers worldwide. Europe is a big, of course, region for us, but actually it's already more than 180 countries where we are serving our WAN solutions. We are happy to see those feedbacks from many public sector customers and also from many different ISPs worldwide. We are very glad to see all those nominations and all those awards that we are getting from the industry leaders and industry organizations. The most recent one, 1 week ago, is Customer Choice Award by Gartner that was awarded our NetEngine 8000 series for that. We, as we have heard, are really committing to continue our R&D investment. As last year we hit the target of 25% of our revenue went to our R&D, and we will continue to do this. Thank you very much for your attention, and have great sessions.
Thank you very much for your valuable contribution. We really appreciate your insights. And now, ladies and gentlemen, well, so far, so good. I think we are all we are all feeling really inspired by the different speeches, and we learned a lot about the latest developments and innovations. And now I'm feeling really excited to announce that the time has come to have the Huawei launch of the new products and solutions. So right here, right now, the part that we all have been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage, first of all, Mr. Todson, the Vice President of Huawei's European Enterprise and Marketing and Solutions Sales Departments.
Okay, hello everyone. So I'm Todd, and now I think it's very exciting the step. We will announce the new product. This new offering is for the ISP friends. So the first is I think it's an amazing product. It is redefine the home network. So this is a new generation. The home network is FTTR. It's like the Yunbo is already mentioned. So this is fourth generation. Is combine the GPON and XGS-PON. It's combined the uplink. So with the Ultra, it's 2000 megabytes the speed. And the second is this is network, not a gateway. So they give the unified the user experience is on the whole home and your house. So this is the product, and as you mentioned, the roaming, and they support the define. You have the multi-termination is can be interaction is very smoothly. So this one I think help all of the users and your residents is moving to the new step. So this is the first. And okay, next. So next, this is about in the backbone. So now we already moving to is 400G. So now we are launched. It's 4 scenarios. It's Super 400G. It's OTN solutions. So these solutions is not only to the backbone but also the metro. So I think it's a high bandwidth, high density, but very flexible. It's for the backbone and the metro areas. So I think this will be with the fast speed and flexible and cost effective is for your operation. So and welcome you to try out this new product. So and now I turn over is to the Lin. It's for another 2 important product. Welcome, Lin. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure to introduce 3 new products. And I hope these products can help our ISP customers in Europe. Let's see what we have for you today. Let's begin. Okay. That's the product I want to present to you, the 50 GPON. So this product can support the bandwidth from you see, from the 10 GPON to 50 GPON. It's a very powerful product. And I think according to the data from the FTTH Council, the number of FTTH subscriber and the home pass will increase by over 50% in next couple years. So I think this product can meet the requirement of the next decade. So that's exactly the product what the ISP customer need. So leading Europe need leading products. That's our 50 GPON products. So next up. What's the video? Where's my video? So how about I'd like to introduce the new product. It's our NetEngine 8000 F8, like Alexander mentioned before. this product have a lot of new advantages in this industry. First of all, high performance. It can support the smooth migration from the 2 Tbps to 6.4 Tbps. Secondly, the power saving. This product can save more than 40% power consumption compared with other products in this market. Thirdly, this is all-in-one product. It can support 6-in-1 multiple service, like the PE, BRAS, CGN, and IPsec as well. So it can save a lot of cost and a lot of footprint. So fast, green, less power consumption, less footprint, and much more cost efficiency. That's our NE 8000. Thank you. Thank you very much.
On stage. So good to have you here with us. And ladies and gentlemen, now, of course, please come to me. You're one of the stars that we are here announcing on stage. And I would love to invite now your other colleagues for the official launch. Please welcome with a round of applause Mr. Francisco Bonacella, the CEO of Alea Soluciones, Mr. Perran Tentas, the CEO of Rede Aberta, and last but not least, once again, you know him already, Mr. Totsun.
Hi. Hi, Paco.
Please come on stage.
Nice to meet you again.
Hello. Nice to have you here on stage together with us. And I would love to ask you for the official launch to stand right here next to the screen, two on the one side, two on the other side. So you can decide who wants to stand next to me. Who wants to stand next to me?
I won't.
Okay.
Paco.
Come to me, please. So thank you very much. So, are you ready? So, let's go.
Yeah, I know.
So here we go. Here we are having the new products and solutions. Yes, it's worth an applause, definitely. Many people put a lot of effort in it, and here we go. So the future is already here, and of course we have to capture this special moment with a photo. So we are having the photographer already. Please come to the middle of the stage for an official photo. Thank you very much. And definitely wonderful products and innovative solutions that will be very helpful in building a robust internet infrastructure also in the future in Europe. Thank you. This is your applause. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, actually, a major key to the development of the internet is the construction of networks and of connectivity, of course. But now it seems that we need much more than just connectivity. So what's next? What are the new possibilities of ISPs? Our next speaker will share some ideas. Please welcome the Director of ISP Business of Huawei's Marketing and Solution Sales Department, Mr. He Wen-je.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. Very glad to be here. Firstly, I will take this opportunity to appreciate all your attending for the ISP and Optical Summit. Today, the topic I bring here is developing connectivity for the new ISP business. So before we start, I would like to share of the outlook for the next 10 years. So there are 4 aspects. Firstly, for the technically driven. So we know the network is the most important part as a foundation. So there will be an involvement from the copper to the GPON, to the 10G-PON, and to the 50G-PON. And another part is digital transformation. We know right now there's a big enthusiasm towards the digital transformation. So a combination of the DICT technology. And from the business perspective, then we know that right now a lot of operator, telecom, they bring their business into the 2B area. And we think that perhaps the ISP can also take a look at this part. And on top of that is the cloud computing. So we know if we look at the future, and we know that the cloud is inevitable, and it's definitely the area we should take a look at. So generally speaking, the business and the trend will change. And in the future, so for the ISP, the transformation, transformation will be from the infrastructure-oriented to the business-oriented. Okay, allow me to introduce a little bit about the Huawei ISP industry. Actually, we have several sectors to look after. As you can see, for the IP and the IXP, represented is the Internet Access Provider and the Internet Exchange Provider, so which are network-oriented. And if you look at the MSP, MTDC, that is about managed service provider and the multi-tenant data center. So this is about the data center-oriented, and above that is OTT. And so nowadays, a lot of the ISP customers are trying to figure out a way to how to get a further revenue growth. So here, I just list this picture. This diagram actually is from the carrier, the leading carrier, who has their financial structure showing that around 40% of them are from 2B and 60% of them are 2C. So if we take a look at forecast, that will show that by 2030, more than 30% of the revenue are coming from 2B. And if we take the Chinese mobile as an example, we can see the 5G and fiber 5G, they take that as a foundation. And the second curve can be achieved through, for example, the network as a service, managed service provider as a service, and the cloud as a service. So generally speaking, then we can do the two approach, that is the scale up and the scale out. So from scale up perspective, so firstly, because the ISP, we think the network is the most important part. It's about the coverage, about the 2C consumer. So it's about how to build the differentiation of our network. So such as, for example, how to leverage the advanced technology to make it more efficiency of the network, and to make it more coverage, the speed of the network, and the home experience. And in terms of the scale out, and we think that perhaps network service as a service and the MSP mode can be a potential for the next wave of the revenue growth. And for the digital transformation, and we think that perhaps the ISP can do some smart service for the vertical, and of course, it should include the cloud. And for the home broadband, and we think the home broadband is absolutely the most important things for our ISP industry. And here we think the home broadband is for the next curve and expand the market share and improve our brand. Here I just list the two pictures, the 50G PON and FTTR. The 50G PON will be a mainstream that in the future. And the beauty of the design is that it will not change the new site. We are still coexist in the CO site. And by reusing the current ODN structure, and it's complete on the same chassis. Okay, and before that, we think it's a Flex PON Plus. Then it will start to ring out in the recent year. And if you look at the FTTR, as a lot of the experts have mentioned, the FTTR, right now, there's a movement from the bandwidth-oriented, coverage-oriented, to the bandwidth-oriented, then to the user experience-oriented. So there's a three-wave of the new growth for this aspect. So FTTR is definitely a scenario which can help us to improve the home experience. So include the coverage, speed, concurrency, and also for the roaming things. And I just take the Chinese telecom, for example. Right now, they have by introduce FTTR, the average ARPU can increase 30 USD per user. So this is on average. So and a friend of mine, he owned a big network in Asia. He told me that he will first do a commercial trial on the 5G PON to gain the reputation, gain the brand in the local, and then bring the FTTR to the high-end users, around 5 to 10% of the total users, and to bring the FTTR solution to them. And after that, they will bring the 5G PON together with FTTR to the enterprise part. So in terms of enterprise management work, actually, what we know is that the ISP responding well is to build the network capacity. And we have the best, for example, the IPv6 ready network, and as well as the 200 and 400 system of WDM. So that's our valuable footprint. But the question is, how can we change the existing network, change that from the current construction network to a revenue purpose network to maximize the revenue of the network? So that's the question. The good thing is that, so right now we have the cloud network platform. So which means that traditionally, if we try to do some service, then we have to go to the site. That is to make the installation, make the deployment, make the monitor, make the operation. So all those things have to be executed on the customer side. Right now, through the cloud managed platform, so which means most of the function, that is, we can do that in a centralized, in a remote way. So which can help release the efficiency a lot. So for example, right now we calculate ISP because sometimes we are lacking of the experienced staff. We don't have so many staff. So in this case, that is allow us to do the business for the enterprise. So there are 4 perspectives of the value we could add on. Firstly, is the managed line. That is to enhance the ultimate experience for the end users, for enterprise. And the managed one, so it's a kind of cloud-based solution and it can reach the agility and the elastic scale out. And the managed security, of course, it will enhance the security for the enterprise and the managed lease line. Okay, if we look at the third part, we call the smart service. Right now, it's because the smart service is very popular, so it's a big enthusiasm toward some we call smart city, smart office, smart shopping, smart retail. I think that the definition of the smart service is quite unique, because that's a completely different scenario. So how can we be flexible as a service provider to make sure that the solution is comprehensive and consistent for our end users? So actually, from Huawei side, we have the different sectors. We have the financing sector, we have the hardware sector, and they all work on the different solution based on from different needs from their end customer. So the general thinking is that how can SP bring the 6 core products and the cloud manager approach together to address the requirement from vertical? Depending on who you are talking to, for example, from the smart education area, that perhaps they will show more interesting in a video conference. For example, they need a digital board, they need a video conference, as well as the optical and the IP campus. And from the smart city perspective, so they may require that, for example, they use the pole as an IoT terminal, and they will ask for the wireless, include the microwave and the wireless, to do the backhaul, to do the Wi-Fi spot. So it's different. So here, we just list the 6 core products together, the cloud managed approach. Actually, we have different sectors, and they use those solutions, work on a different industry. So we can bring those together for SP to do the business on the vertical smart business. And then last but not least is True Cloud. Here, I use True Cloud rather than cloud because cloud is not the easy things to go in the beginning. So, but we have several steps we can achieve this. The first thing is how to bring the cloud private line to the end users. So how to bring the traffic from the enterprise part to the public cloud. So this is the first thing. So technical options could be, for example, the PAM technology, OTN technology, SD-WAN technology, or the VPN. So for the second step, so we may think of how to build a hybrid cloud platform. That is to link the public cloud environment and private cloud environment and IDC together to build a unified platform. And after that, because the network is ready, the platform is ready, then we may think of whether our OSS, BSS, or OMS is ready in the cloud environment. I think at that time, because the AMS is almost the cloud-native platform, its application is cloud-native. So we may, from MSP part, we may deploy our NMS on the cloud, complete cloud environment to get adapted to this system. So finally, that we can go to part of the cloud business because the ready is okay, the network is okay, the system is okay, and we got the cloud platform. So as a whole, that's we can finally we can do some cloud business. So generally speaking, actually this time I just bring the 4 topics. The first one is the whole broadband. So we consider that is the most important things, and the enterprise and the smart service for the industry and the cloud. So internally we call it the BEST model. And okay, this is all my part today. In the next topics, actually from Huawei partner and Huawei customer, we will share their story about what they are thinking about their business domain. Now, hopefully, all the SP customer will have a bright future. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you very much for this engaging presentation and for these really nice perspectives, for this look into the future. So we can see that there are so many possibilities. And yes, it's obvious. In fact, the optical campus network is becoming more and more important. And ladies and gentlemen, the question is, how will the optical networks reshape the commercial markets? Let's find it out with our next speaker here on stage. Please welcome the Chief Commercial Officer of Alea Soluciones from Spain, Mr. Gabriel de Benito, to share his insights. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to show you Huawei. We are a company that has, this year, will have 21 years, so we are a little bit more than the medium, at least in Spain. So we are specialized in FTTH technologies, and we have groups for software development, internal people, operation and support, and we have configured all this network, mainly for small ISPs in Spain, some of them out of Spain, and we are providing services mainly in Spain and sometimes in South America. And we manage all the things related with the shipments. We try to optimize all the shipments from China to Spain. And we are value-added partner with Huawei. It means that we try to contribute with something, and we have our software that mainly is the OSS and other software. We have a software for mainly for ISPs, OSS tools for network sharing. That is a tendency that lately is very, very active in Spain. And we are certified by, because our technician needs to have very good skills. So we try to be as a very skilled company inside the ecosystem, Huawei ecosystem. So we have 5 stars in access transmission and networking. And we mainly face 2 markets, the telco sectors, so is this the ISPs. In Spain there are, well, now with the last tendency it's a little bit less, but has been more or less 900 small ISPs with the local, all of them are not trying to cover Spain whole, so they have local activities. So it is the direct sales mode and our long-term clients. So it means that we have a long relationship with most of them, and they are our main customers. And apart of that, we have the hospitality sector that we face through our partners with channel. That because they are our partners are with the people that are providing services and has the direct relationship with the hotels, with the property. And in both, we supply devices, we supply software, we supply services for implementation and post-sales. And this is the summary of our project. So we can say that for hospitality, it's very common in new hotels. So when you have an old hotel, you need an arrangement, and it is more complicated because the hotel has to close in order to do all the arrangement, all the renovation of systems. So in big resorts and in new resorts, almost 100% of occasions, the property decides to install FTTR. So the limitation of Ethernet networks is not present. So it means that there are many advantages of using the optical fiber in hotels. So it means that you have no wire, no copper wire. You have not have the problem of the distance in Ethernet. The maximum distance of 20 kilometers in Japan is far away more than enough in a hotel. So other problem that normally the hotels have is normally the property tends to put the hotels near the sea. So it means that the humidity affects the copper and provokes a lot of bad effects in the cabling. So it means that in the optical fiber installation, all this problem does not exist. So it is very, very comfortable for the property not having to replace wiring in a constant way. So the estimation is in 2 years they have rewired completely all the system in the hotel in very humidity zones, for example, in the Caribbean Sea or things like that. So the quality of service does not depend on the distance, does not depend on the infrastructure, and does not depend on the humidity and other factors that can be very common in hotels. So the same solution that you can apply to campus is very useful for hotels, especially for big resorts. So you only have one cable and you have all the services through the same fiber. And you can see that here you reach the room and you can split all the services here. So it is valid for the rooms, it is valid for other environment like big rooms or conference rooms, and it is valid also for a public area. It's mixed with the Wi-Fi solution, but it is a very good solution that it's a global tendency that is happening in the sector. So the traditional one, the traditional solution in Ethernet means that you need switches distributed in all the infrastructure because you need connectivity and you need to surpass the limiting distance of the Ethernet. So it means that you need a lot of rooms, you need a lot of air conditioning systems, you need batteries, you need a lot of things. So when you change to optical fiber, all these things disappear. So you can put directly the OLT and the ONTs in the rooms. So it means that you have a passive system that it is not affected by the distance, it is not affected in quality, and it is independent of all the rest of things. So you eliminate the rooms, you eliminate the cost, and you eliminate a lot of problems and the need to manage all these systems. So this is one example of a very recent award that we have had. And well, the calculation about the improvement in the power supply in carbon emission and all the things related with the manufacturing and all the things related with the operation of the system is quite good. So this is the example in one hotel in the Canary Island that it is the typical resort. In this case, has more than 800 rooms, but we have managed hotels with 1,400 rooms. All these things is covered by our software. The OSS system is very adequate to manage all the services in the hotel, and gives the property a very good feeling about the way of managing that. So there are no problems. There are the manage of any problem that can arise is quite easy because all the alarms, all the real-time alarms, and all the characteristics of all the features that the system has is very suitable for them. And the people that is using that, sometimes at the beginning, the property has the doubt about what happened with this. Is very simple management system, and probably I have no visibility about what is happening in the hotel, what is happening with my services. But in the real life, what happens is that all the management is quite easy. All the new equipment that has to be connected is really quick. And all the things related with monitoring of the system is quite direct. So they are quite happy with this. And the question is that the property is forgetting about how can we manage the system, and I'm focused in my customers. So this is, let's say, an automatic system that is working in a standalone mode. And all the big chains, I have not put the name of this, but maybe somebody knows that. All the big chains are, from several years ago, are changing to this mode and installing FTTH in the hotels and our OSS. So as a summary, the only doubt that the property has is there are no doubts when you have to build a new hotel. So the only doubt that you can have is what happened when I have an old building and I need to renovate that. So it is a very complicated question. And sometimes the problem is if they cannot close the hotel, sometimes they are not very prone to start the renovation. So this is the typical problem. But anyway, sometimes they have to change something. So all the things related with the services will be very welcome by the system, growth in bandwidth, new services that come. All the things related with new service like domotic things, control, new devices are quite easy to install and does not need a new infrastructure to be installed. So you don't need to put more switches, you don't need to put more Ethernet wiring, you don't need to put any other devices. The only thing that you have to do is to configure the system to be able to manage another service, another VLAN, another IP group or something like that. So everything seems to be quite easy with this, and it is a very good tendency. And in the IT part, the companies feel that this is a very good reason to be focused in other activities. So this is not the main problem of the property, being much more easy, much more direct. So this is all. So thank you very much for your attention.
So I'm glad to hear that your company is making these remarkable achievements and that Huawei is playing a vital role in this. And this is actually what Huawei does, right? Helping customers and partners to succeed. So ladies and gentlemen, the internet access speed is becoming faster and faster, and there is a growing number of internet applications emerging. The frequently asked question is, what kind of FTTH speed package shall I use? So let's shed light on this. And our next speaker will explore this question based on his own experiences. Please welcome on stage the CTO of XCOM from Spain, Mr. Jesus Requena.
Good afternoon. I will speak about my company that is typically Spanish ISP. So XCOM a fast-growing operator with a solid FTTH mobile strategy across rural areas in Spain. ESCOM was founded in 2001, committed to provide high-quality broadband access in rural areas. More than 320 employees and more than 160,000 active services combining both WiMAX and FTTH technologies. Follows a mixed approach to service our clients, combining both infrastructure operators' networks and our own FTTH deployments. Deploying our own FTTH networks allows us to strengthen our competitive advantage by individually choosing specific regions to pursue. Acquiring local operators, more than 20 transactions recently, has also fostered our growth, with our internal post-merger integration team aims at maximizing optimizing value from M&As. This is an example of WiMAX to FTTH evolution and cost. As you can see, it's an example from a big company, CapEx and OpEx. WiMAX access network planning is complex and susceptible to interference. WiMAX networks have high CapEx and OpEx than FTTH networks. WiMAX clearly highlights the economic handicaps. Fiber optic networks can comply future service evolution requirements. Fiber broadband is a sound business. The 10G-PON service offers not only simple home service, but also enable advanced home services. Above all, enterprise services that the local companies over the same network. New services in home drive new network development. These developments driven by new service requirements. VR contents, HD, 4K, will tune into 8K, XR, metaverse that require GPS gigabits bandwidth. Web browsing involves two interactive games, requires low latency. This is a very important advantage. Number of connected devices at home increased by IoT. This situation will generate an increase of GPON shipments. There are two solutions for upgrading GPON to 10G-PON. One solution is adding a 10G-PON board and 10G-PON 10G double DM module. The solution increases device space in racks, adds ODF, increase the room space. The best solution is deploying the XGS-PON and 10G-PON combo board, which can replace the old G-PON board. Don't need to ODM modification and don't increase device chassis. This solution can save space, include power consumption. So XGS-PON combo solution is the one-stop for 10G-PON integration. This is only possible with the help of partners as Huawei and local integrations as Alea. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. It's an honor that Huawei has played a role in your success. So, ladies and gentlemen, another trend is becoming more and more important. I'm talking about the using of managed services. So, what kind of managed services can ISP provide? Let's find it out with our last speaker today. He comes from Germany. Give him a round of applause, please. The last speaker is the CEO of Carrierwerke, Mr. Michael Neska.
Good afternoon. It was one too early, so like I said, I'm Michael Neska. I'm the CEO of Carrierwerke. It's an honor, it's a great honor for me to introduce our company, our solutions, which hopefully also help Germany to not lead in the former statistics from the wrong side. A little introduction also to our company group. Carrierwerke belongs to the Karma Holding Group, which do have 3 shareholders. Only quick introduction. There are 3 shareholders. One of them is my managing director, colleague Marco Zapf. The other one I am, and the third one, and also our investor is Medicon Group AG, a public traded company with long-term investment focus. So not typically what's in the market at the moment. Karma's investments so far are, for example, and also our founding project, Carrierwerke. Today we will talk about the solutions of Carrierwerke. Carrierwerke is the operational and technical heart of the company and serves all services to internal customers, but mainly to external customers. And the German people will know, because of the name, what our main market is, but I will tell something more about later. We have different views in the Karma company group. This is why I give you a short introduction, because we are not only some service provider and solution provider, and we are also do have subscribers by our own in our company group. That means with Ingenia Glasfaser, we have a joint venture with a local hero. We built their fiber in the south of Germany in a specific region, for sure also with partners, but with this company we also we stay up to date in this part, what the subscriber needs, what the subscriber wants, and this also helps us to improve the quality of our services we provide in Carrierwerke for external customers. Another one is Interactive Network, is our first acquisition 2 years ago. I forgot to say the Karma Group is just formed 2 years ago, so we don't have a long history. We have, I will say, a poor history, but our team do have high knowledge and is already for decades in the market. And another one, there are only examples, are Karma Rental. We found Karma Rental to help our customers. So with Karma Rental, we rent them software, hardware, and they don't have to care about optional, they don't have to care about liquidity in this part. I will a little bit introduce our services. We have different, I would say, main topics. Our first main topic is, we name it services. In Germany, we say Dienste. It's to provide internet services, television, and voice over IP. Mainly on internet, it's not only internet access. We provide, with this service, we provide, I would say, managed internet service with AAA, authentication, BIRA service, everything from us. Without that, our client need to buy own BIRA systems or equal. We have it for the customer, or even if the customer wants it or need experience in that, we can serve. So it's, I would say, an all-included internet service and includes everything that a subscriber can, from our customer, can log in and serve. The second part is network operation. That means we operate the access networks of our customers, sometimes also the backbone networks from our customers. And for sure, then we do operation, monitoring. We sell them sometimes hardware. Like I said, with Karma Rental, we rent to them, and so on. The third part is software. We have 2 different, I will say, software products. One product is more about how our customers can book from us services. And that means, for example, also like in German number porting, how can I book my number, how can I book some internet accounts, how can I do other things. And the second part is about billing processes and the contracts. And the last one is consulting is not a main part from us. It's more about that we need it to help our customers to be successful. We do workshops. We teach them how to get more penetration in customer sales or in retail. More about the technical part today is this is an example POP, how it can be somewhere in our network. We have, these are only examples, we have some voice over IP platform, our web platform. We have, for example, in BNG, I choose the BNG because it's more about what I want to show today. And we have some software in our cloud, somewhere in our POP. This POP, for example, in this case, BNG, like I said, we provide full managed services to our customers. And for that, we also use Huawei components. That means we have in our different POPs, somewhere in Germany, we have Huawei components for that, ISO NetEngine 8000 series. And so our customers benefit also from Huawei solutions because we use it to serve our services. For sure, we also do BGP and have an MPLS network and ISAS and all stuff to route in our network, but that's too much into detail, so yes. This is only an example map where our main POPs located and where our customers can connect our really main POPs. That means where hardware is located, where the services are produced, I would say, and not only some routing point. This is an example of what our service is and how we help in Germany to not lead the statistics from the wrong side. We serve the services redundantly to our customers. So our customers, typically municipal utility companies, small to large ISPs without knowledge about operational or mainly the technical part. We serve then all services already managed to them. They only need some connection into the city, village, town, somewhere in Germany. Typically, if it works out, it should be redundant. And then we connect the local POPs. And they don't need to care about how it's working. That means they get all services through backbone connections, and we do all the rest. So keywords like PPOE, IPOE, or how do I authenticate, how I do my logs, how I do everything, shaping and stuff is not their business. So we do all this thing, so they can focus on infrastructure, and this is mainly what Germany needs at the moment, that someone build up the passive infrastructure. A closer look, how our POP can look like in the city for sure. Here also, we typically some standard. We try to be really standard to be efficient. And for that, also we typically build up MPLS networks local in some cities, towns, between the POPs. And for sure, for that, also we use Huawei MPLS components, MPLS routers, and Huawei OLTs later on for doing the PON or point-to-point, but mainly at the moment PON connectivities to the homes, or better said to the buildings. In some cases, for sure, to the homes. And in the homes, we also use mainly Huawei ONUs or ONTs. Yeah. The next step for that, for sure, we heard it already, FTTR and something like that. We already have also chosen with customers pilot projects for that to see how it works and how the customers take it. But we think this is the next important thing, that the customers see that the bandwidth is reaching the living room and the rooms where they live. So in the end, you can see here everything is connected. Now the POPs are also connected to the homes, and that's all what they need. So Also the POPs in the cities, towns, in the technical part, we do in our network operation part for our customer, so they really only have to care about the passive infrastructure. Now I will explain a little bit about different value creation stages. What we typically have is the first variant is that we do everything except marketing and sales. Marketing and passive infrastructure. Marketing and sales, we typically help them, teach them, but we don't do it for them. I don't know if everyone knows it in Germany, but also in other countries you have in different parts different dialect, and then you don't want to mix it up, and our thinking is that a local dialect helps in this case. The second one, I will do it a little bit quicker. The second one, you see, they can get a software from us, carrier management software. They provide can manage their contracts and do the billing and other stuff and manage the processes, but they don't have to. Also with network operation, in some cases they only want the services from us because they can do the network operation in their area by their own, but it's not always like that. I will jump to the last one. In some cases, for internal customers, but also for external customers, Karma is also a part into passive infrastructure. That means Karma builds by their own. That means we are no construction company, but we invest the money into passive infrastructure, or we come together with partner and go into the passive market and passive infrastructure. But this is, I will say, not the main target at the moment. We also do it a lot at the moment because there are different opportunities facing us, but it's not the main key point. Yeah. Different about Carrier, our target groups, municipal utility companies. This is in Germany, really, there are a lot of which now go into the FTTH market, into the telecommunication market at all. So our thinking is it's important to help them to provide service to their customers because they are infrastructure owner already for many years, because they provide electricity, power, and gas, and they know how to build up infrastructure. And sometimes they already have a lot of infrastructure already. Second, city carriers for sure, and private-owned small to large ISPs, which needs help in the technical operation part. Our main market is Germany. We have a lot of to do there, so it's at the moment enough. And our vision is to become the leading white-label provider, because we always try to know what our customers need, and our thinking is not to make an easy sale to our customer. Our thinking is to help them to achieve their goals. Then we will be successful. That means we always try to take our customer by hand and help them to achieve their goals. And then we will be successful for a long term, and not only for a short term. We have also different goals on our Karma holding side, because we have different views. So for sure, for Karma holding, also Carrier targets are important, but also our target is to come together with partners, with private fiber network investors, infrastructure investors, who don't want to go into the subscriber, they don't want to go into the market have subscribers by themselves. They only want to build up an infrastructure and want to rent it to someone. And this is one possible way, because like I mentioned, the passive part is only a secondary part for us. So for us, it's also interesting if some infrastructure investors are looking for a partner who is a main tenant and have the credibility and also the liquidity to go into projects and to do the marketing, sales, everything. For example, like with our Ingenia Glasfaser I introduced before, and this part. Also, we have at the moment different projects going on, but still in negotiation with some state public-owned, like municipal companies, if we come together, build together networks or equal. Our main market is also here Germany. And our vision, and I will say in some kind we already fulfilled this vision, is acquisition of ISPs. We already acquired an ISP, and we are at the moment also for sure in different negotiations to acquire different ISPs and to become a main tenant in Germany, to be known for that we are a trusted and proof tenant for infrastructure, for fiber infrastructure, and that we do a good job in this kind of business. Yeah. From my side, this is all. At the end, you see here some references, only some names, some municipal companies, customers from Kerrewerke. We serve them different services. Not all customers will have the same services, but there are some examples of that. And if you like, you can stay in touch. You can follow us and see what we are doing. We are quite active in different social medias. So yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this was a wonderful success story, and indeed, managed services are advancing rapidly. I'm sure your story will inspire other companies to follow that path. And ladies and gentlemen, we are drawing to a close. Thanks again to all of the speakers and to all of you for your attention. We are on the finishing line of this Global Internet Service Industry Summit and Global Optical Summit. And yes, you experienced so many things, right? And I can see it in your faces. This day has quite a lot to offer, so many new perspectives. And with this, I say thank you very much for your attention and for your participation, for your great invest into the future. I think we are all in agreement that the future is already here. We would like to invite you right now for some refreshments and a drink or two outside at the terrace. Enjoy the sun from Madrid, and I hope to see you soon next year. Thank you very much. Bye.